a bountiful coastal buffet awaits a feast that reveals itself only after the tide has receded. Before the great salmon run begins, mussels, clinging tightly to the rocks, along with other forms of marine life, provide a vital source of nourishment for this family of brown bears. The mother bear must accumulate enough body fat before the end of autumn. Only then can she ensure that her two cubs, both less than a year old, will not starve in their winter den due to a lack of milk. Guided by the distant calls of crows, she leads her cubs to a secluded stretch of coastline rarely visited by humans. As the tide slowly withdraws, the long-awaited moment finally arrives. The rocks are revealed, blanketed with dense clusters of mussels, packed together like scattered sunflower seeds, and covering nearly every surface. Though they may not provide the same rich reward as salmon, their crisp texture proves irresistible. If consumed in sufficient quantities, these mussels can still satisfy the bear's hunger. Drawing upon her experience, the mother bear flips over exposed rocks, revealing even more valuable prey hidden beneath. Small fish and shrimp, concealed in the shadows, offer far greater nutritional value than the mussels above. The cubs, experiencing this coastal feast for the very first time, closely imitate their mother's every movement, learning essential survival skills at her side. Yet even a brief moment of carelessness could result in injury. Still, the mother knows that this shoreline alone cannot sustain them through the coming winter. When she reaches the river mouth, she discovers that vast schools of salmon are already gathering, preparing for their upstream migration. Dominant male bears from across the region have taken control of the best fishing spots, positioning themselves along the main route where the salmon run is strongest. With her cubs beside her, she cannot risk approaching. These powerful males pose a serious threat and could easily harm her young. She recalls her own childhood, when her mother once led her to a place known as the Golden Pond, where food was abundant and competition was minimal. Determined, she guides her cubs through dense forest and rugged terrain. As the air grows colder, the cubs begin to develop their thick winter coats, and the urgency of their journey increases. After several days of relentless travel, the mother finally locates the pond from her memory. They are not alone. Other bears have gathered, but the sheer abundance of salmon eliminates the need for conflict. Here, she can finally feed without fear. The family indulges in a rich and plentiful feast, the most satisfying meal they have had since leaving the coast. Strengthened by this nourishment, the mother and her cubs are now prepared to endure the long, unforgiving winter ahead. As the salmon run comes to an end, so too does the feast. In the days that follow, the mother leads her cubs back to their den, nestled deep within the mountains. There, they curl together and drift into a peaceful slumber, quietly awaiting the beginning of their next journey.